Y'all? It's Max Middleman, and today we're going to talk about the NBA, the trade deadline, and just some opinions of mine of some moves that could be made to alter some teams for the good and for the bad. But before we get into the trade deadline, let's talk about where teams are right now going into the trade deadline tomorrow. You got the Brooklyn Nets, who have lost 9 straight. Kyrie is a part-time player. You got James the Beard, who honestly, in my opinion, looks like a real fat slob at this point. It looks like he's gained about 25, 30 pounds. He looks like he walks around at about 235, 240, 6'5". He just looks bent out of shape. He really has lost a step, And you got Kevin Durant, who's been hurt for about a month now. And, usually when you have a team that goes 7 with the champs, you get better. They added the pieces. They added Patty Mills. They added LaMarcus Aldridge. On paper, it sounded like improvement. Well, they've been worse. They're about 4 games over 500. Brooklyn looks desperate right now. If I'm Brooklyn, I think that a move has to be made coming into the deadline. The Los Angeles Lakers have probably been the biggest disappointment of this year. Got eliminated in the first round by Phoenix last year. AD goes out. They were down 2-1 at the time. They never recovered. They lost in 6. But they added Russell Westbrook this year, who is a superstar first ballot Hall of Famer. But we knew from the very start it was going to be a lousy, pathetic, miserable fit. And it's been nothing short of a miserable, pathetic fit. Russell Westbrook does not fit with LeBron James. He just doesn't fit with LeBron James. It just doesn't work. So they're sitting 3 games under 500, having lost to the Bucks badly yesterday. Couldn't stop Giannis at all. And to me, it just looks as though the Lakers are in deep trouble. Then you got teams like Phoenix, Golden State, and the Milwaukee Bucks, who were great last year, in exception to Golden State. Golden State's back on track from where they were 2 years ago. And Phoenix and the Bucks are the teams to beat in their respective conferences right now, in my opinion. The Los Angeles Lakers need to find a way to get rid of Russell Westbrook. I've been hearing rumors all day and all week about them benching Russell Westbrook and him not playing in the fourth quarter. That's bad for the locker room. That's bad for the chemistry. You have a superstar making $40 million a year getting benched in the fourth quarter. It doesn't make sense. That doesn't equate to what you're paying him. It just doesn't make sense. So you're going to give Austin Reeves more playing time than Russell Westbrook. That's pathetic. You're asking for a miserable chemistry bomb in your locker room, and that's what they're going to get. If I'm the Los Angeles Lakers at the trade deadline, I'm trading Russell Westbrook for anything at this point. Low value. If you can get a Kemba Walker, if you can get a John Wall, take it. At this point, nothing could be worse. Nothing. If you're Brooklyn, I'm absolutely pulling the trigger on the James Harden for Ben Simmons, expecting that Philly will add a couple complementary pieces to the trade to make it more compensable, because we haven't seen Ben Simmons in almost a year. So we don't know where he's at mentally, physically, but just knowing off his raw talent, it sounds like a good trade if you add on a couple complementary pieces. That being said, Philly needs to make a move. So I say it's a good trade for both systems. Philly loves to run the pick and roll. Right now, their best pick and roll player is Tyrese Maxey, but that's not his overall great game. He is a pick and roll player, but he's not a good passer. James Harden is a really good passer. So that would be their best pick and roll player they've had since they've had Joel Embiid. It's a great fit. And for Brooklyn's side, adding Ben Simmons would add a tenacious defender who's going to run the floor and give Brooklyn the energy that they've been lacking. Harden brings no energy to the defensive side. He brings no energy to the table. He just brings great offensive prowess, but he's very inconsistent at that. So really, he's just bringing a lot of chaos, if you ask me. We've got a lot of surprise team. Memphis and the Cleveland Cavaliers look like they got shots to come out of their respective conferences. They came out of nowhere. I'm very proud of those franchises. But this calls for a catastrophe in the National Basketball Association, people. I haven't seen something this bad in a long time. To see LeBron James and Kevin Durant not even compete, looking like they're a contender, is just beyond me. The NBA is at an all-time low right now, and it needs to be changed. Hopefully, this trade deadline makes some really big moves that affects the NBA in a positive direction, with with high marketed franchises doing much better. But I don't see a lot of trades being available, so we might be stuck in a low market, maybe a Phoenix Milwaukee finals again. I'm preparing myself very sadly for another Milwaukee and Phoenix finals. Make sure to leave your comments, feedback, opinions. I appreciate you guys.